She's worked with some of the UK's comedy greats. Helen Lederer shares the life lessons she's learned as she heads back on stage at 70. Now, Helen Lederer is here. She is no stranger to making us laugh, having starred in hit shows like Absolutely Fabulous. And now she is appearing in another iconic comedy in the West End production of Fawlty Towers. Oh, Helen, this is so brilliant. I cannot wait to see this. Returning to the West End. And I'm sure there is a certain pressure because Fawlty Towers, as a TV series, was and is iconic.
Did you watch it when you were at school?
I know to this day every word of a Fawlty Towers episode. I could do a mastermind episode on it. I really mean
Please
it.
do.
But there's only 12 episodes, and yet you kind of feel there must have been hundreds because it made such an impact.
It was very iconic, big impact. And then the play version that John Cleese has written with his wife, with Connie Booth, is sort of not truncated, wrong word already, too early in the morning, but it's a very clever depiction of the best bits, but it all works. And audiences laugh. Christine, they're laughing.
Of course they are.
I mean, it's a joy.
And why wouldn't they? But he's almost picked parts from 3 of his favourite episodes, isn't that right? And then combined it into this.
But it is kind of
version.
A farce. And I think for the first time in my life, I actually have to go through swing doors in a particular way, like in and out and things like that. And I have to say that the cast are amazing. So it's got its own momentum and identity, but as you rightly say, people relate to it. Like Danny Baines is an amazing Basil. Got Joanne Clifton as Polly, she's perfect. Mia Austin as Sybil, and Hemi Yama, I can't say the surname because it's a very interesting surname, and wonderful as Manuel. But I say Manuel, it's Manuel, isn't it?
Manuel.
And then the rest of the cast have all done hundreds of things. So. And then there's me, and we all wear wigs, which is a joy.
A proper stage show.
And
you play
actress.
Mrs. Richards,
I
a
do.
very demanding Mrs. Richards.
Yes, so I had to be belligerent. Obviously, I'm not. I'm a bit of a people pleaser, as we were talking about. Growing up in the 80s and 90s in a kind of slightly male-dominated comedy world, and also being brought up not to say no to things, the people-pleasing element has to go out of the window, and you're just being very belligerent and bossy. But in the television, I haven't really gone back to see the YouTube versions of it, but I wear a coat and a hat, and I'm very cross a lot of the time.
And you know what you want.
I do.
Just very, very bossy. But it did fill you with a little bit of fear taking the role on initially, but you knew you couldn't say no.
I couldn't say no. The job came along, and I thought, West End, 3 months, I'm there till September the 13th. Why would you not do it? But there is a difference with stand-up and when I'm going touring with my book. Not that I'm bitter, I'm just saying that is the title because it is faintly amusing in its own its irony. Then you're hoping that the audience will see you and you see the audience, and we have this amazing Q&A and it's all real and honest. And then you go, oh, no, in a wig, I'm Mrs. Richards now. Do not engage with the audience. So it's a very different... a different thing to do, but I am loving it now. And the cast, everyone is very nice to each other, which is a joy, of course. You're probably nice to you here, are they?
We are. Oh, no, we are. We actually really like each other in this. So, yes, we do. No, we're very lucky.
You see, so falling out is very tiresome. So there is no falling out. And you go, oh, really? Yeah. Can this be a job? But it is. And then they're going on tour afterwards, and then I'm taking my book around the world.
Fantastic. I know. And the book, interestingly, we talked about Absolutely Fabulous there, that I mentioned, because another iconic British series.
Yeah, lucky me to have little parts in these things.
Completely so. But you talk in the book about Jennifer Saunders and Dawn French and these other sort of wonderful female comedians. You talk about being the trailblazer, which you were in those early days.
They were the trailblazers.
There was a group of you.
Yes, and then I think, I do talk about it, there weren't that many jobs for women all at once at the time, but I was there doing my own, I was in my own lane, and I think I'm sort of still in my own lane. But I think it's OK to be your own lane if you just keep doing it. But I was around 80s, 90s, and you said you watched Naked Video.
Naked Video, I remember it back in the day. Absolutely, I do. It was brilliant.
Staying up late, it was kind of slightly rude, whereas mine would have been Monty Python, going back to John Cleese.
Of course.
And everybody in the playground would unite about the stuff when your parents weren't there. And that's what watching comedy programmes does. It kind of releases you, doesn't it?
Yeah. And do you think it has changed, though, or it is changing? I mean, the advancement of AI and all of this sort of thing, it does...
It
No,
is changing.
Well, it scares me. I'm not a
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of it because I like it as it is.
Yes, I think that there's a place for the past coming back, but there's a place for language evolving and being modern. I mean, I'm excited to just work in a meaningful way. Paul Nicholas, who was in Just
Friends, yes.
Slightly older than me even. Thanks for, as I say, name-checking my age. Very grateful for you for that, Christine. Lovely. Now we all know. In fact, when I was doing the pilgrimage not very long ago, it was my birthday when we were filming, and obviously can't lie. And it's humiliating to lie about your age, so yes. But anyway, so there's a place for older people and importantly, younger people. It's their time as well.
But you've never been... Well, we talk about sort of having fear, but you still do it. And the pilgrimage is a prime example of that, a very physically and emotionally draining series. I watched it.
But did you?
I did, absolutely.
And have conversations walking, weirdly, and I bet, you know, those... And you forget about the cameras, and then because you're required to talk about slightly more important things, it's not the fluff, although I do love the banter. I did have a lot of banter with Jay McGuinness, who you're having tomorrow.
That's right.
And Harry from Traitor. So I rather fancied myself with the two of them, you know, rocking around with the two young men. But also the age didn't matter and you would connect because you're talking about serious stuff.
Of course. Well, the real question, of course, is, will Ken Barlow ever give you a call back?
I was wondering...
Will we see you back on Corrie anytime soon, Helen?
I hope he gives me something.
The wonderful Elspeth. She needs to make a return.
I would love to have another cocktail with him if he's available. I'm standing by.
Standing by.
Yeah.
Helen, I can't wait to see you in the stage version. Honestly, it's going to be
You're going to come.
Thank you so much. And like you say, the book is out now and you're touring, doing all sorts with it. Thank you so much.
It's lovely. I like being here. I might come back.
Anytime, anytime. You can see Helen, like we said, in Fawlty Towers at London's Apollo Theatre until the 13th of September.